So I want to pick up where we left off in the last lesson. What we did was we created a find view by ID here, but let's go ahead and go back. I want to show you something. Every time you see like a layout or something, we can hold down the command key on a Mac, click on it, and it'll take us to that file. So here we are, we're in main activity, and I see set content view. That's where you set your content, and r.layout is just something you always have to put, which means it'll show up to resources, layout, then yeah, so it's kind of like the file structure almost like. And a good thing, it's worth pointing out that I'm in Android mode. There are a couple of modes you can be in, like project, which will sort a different way, but I really like Android. You have your manifest file there, not much going on there. But what I want to talk, I'm kind of deciding what I want to talk about today. I think I want to talk about set-click, like pressing buttons and what you do when something gets pressed. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of some of this stuff. I'm just going to go ahead and delete it. Save that, and then hit Alt or Option Command L. I'm used to Windows. I used Windows for like 10 years, and only recently switched over to a Mac a couple of years ago. So I'm still getting used to it. It's Option or Alt, whatever. But anyway, let's get rid of some spacing here. Save that. Then I always constantly press Option Command L to format your code, and here it'll see no changes, code is already properly formatted. Like if you have a bunch of spaces or whatever and you save it, and then you do Option Command L, it'll get rid of some of that spacing and format the code for you. So that's a little hint. But let's go ahead and go back to our layout. And something you can do Shift, Control, and then the right arrow. That'll switch between the text view and the design. Whoops, I didn't mean to open that up. Let's get rid of that by Command 6. So what Shift, Control, right arrow or left arrow do will switch you between the text mode and the design mode. I really like the text mode, so let's just I'm going to get rid of this button, and let's just change this to coordinator layout. Let's see. Actually, it's linear. Let's see. Change to linear layout. Okay, there we go. So now let's go ahead and create a we need to set the orientation. So what we can do is we can start typing, just get a new line, start typing orientation. It'll automatically fill you out, and let's do vertical in this case. So let's do button, and as soon as you start typing, it'll prompt you for stuff. We'll just wrap content, wrap. You can start typing wrap content, and it'll enter in. Let's call it. So let's add an ID to this ID. I just hit enter, then I type the name of it. So first, we'll call it first for now. Let's do another button. I just start typing it. Wrap, just start typing it, and so let's click here. Let's do ID, enter, second. Now what we can do, we can save that, press Option Command L, then Shift Control right arrow, and that'll show us what it looks like. And I forgot to put the text in there, so let's go ahead and put text. So text first, text second. Now you notice the code here is a little bit, it's a little bit different. It's formatted. You can see the background color there. That's kind of hints that you can improve your code. So let's go ahead and put your mouse over it, Option Enter, or Alt and Option Enter, and you'll see this option to extract string resource. So let's go ahead and do the first one, and we'll name that first. That's fine. It'll be in strings.xml. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK and show you what that does. So what it does is it makes a reference to string first. So if we go over to the left here to our values, we click on strings. You can see here now it says string name equals first, and the value is first. So if we go back to our main activity main XML layout, you'll notice that instead of hard coding the value in here, all the text is going to be inside of here. So this makes it easy if you want to translate it into whatever language you want to change it into, Spanish or whatever. I'm just working in English here, but yeah, you can. It makes it really easy, because say you have 100 of these say you have tons of those. They can all be named. It's just a central place where you can update all your translation. It just makes it work. So let's go ahead and do this thing to here. Option Enter, extracting resource, and it'll just automatically do that for you. So let's go ahead and I'll show you what I mean. I'll put a bunch of enters, then Option Command L, and it'll get rid of some of that spacing. It'll format everything for you. So let's look at this. So shift control right arrow. So now we have our two buttons, and it is important to note out that I have orientation vertical. So let's just change that to horizontal. Save that, see what this does. Interesting. But like for now, or say we get rid of this. So we get rid of this. It'll look different depending upon how you do it. So anyway, I'll just go ahead and put that back in there for now. And we have our two buttons. Let's go ahead and vertical actually. And I'm just using the keyboard shortcuts. So let's go back into main activity. So a quick shortcut to get to any page is Command P. So Command P, main activity, start typing it, it'll come up. You see the first one is highlighted. I can just hit enter. So let's make buttons. So we're gonna make them private, button, and then a good convention is to always name your variables with an M first, so M first. So like M second, M third, whatever it is, just put M before it. So private, button, M space there, M second. So now let's go ahead and do something with this. So first, what we want to do is we want to do first.setOnClickListener, but that'll give us a null. It'll give us an error. So we need to do the findViewById, which you did in the last lesson. So M first equals findView, and it'll automatically prompt you. You can just hit enter. r.id.first, I think is what we named it. And you see it's giving us an error. Well, first I'm going to point out the r.id, you always just put that. So that's just whenever it can be r.layout. Like see here how it's r.layout. That means it's because it's in the layout folder there. R.id, just always put that in there, and then the name of whatever it is. So, but it's giving me an error, so let's option enter, and then we need to cast it to a button. It just puts that text there like we talked about in the last video. So let's do M second equals find r.id.second. Again, it's giving us an error, option enter, and it'll give us fixes. Hit the first one, there we go. So I guess the main part of this video is now going to be clicking on like what to do when something happens. So let's do M first dot set on click listener, and see how it automatically hits us with a bunch of options. I'm going to hit enter. I'm going to type new on, and then see how there it has its first option there with some dots there. It basically means it's going to expand for you. So let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and hit enter, and just a second later it'll fill out all that stuff for you. So what all this does is it means whenever somebody on the first button, which I can hold on the control key and click on first, which is this right here, which it highlighted for us, and I'm going to hit control tab to go back. What it's going to do is it's going to say, okay, so the first button, whenever somebody clicks on it, I want to do something. So what do we want to do? Let's make a snack bar. How about no, let's do a toast, and it'll automatically fill it out for you. So main activity of this is fine. First button. We go ahead and save that. So now what we're going to do, I guess we can, let me just look at it really quickly. So we have our string resources that are extracted there. We have our main activity, the first button there. We didn't do anything with the second button, but we can do that later. We have a toast, so toast.makeText. Main activity.this, it just automatically filled that in for me. First button, toast.length long. There's also a length short. We'll just do that just to show you. So I'm hitting Command S to save, Option Command L to format the code. It's already formatted. So let's go ahead and run this. So I'm going to hit Control R, then I'm going to switch over to emulator that I have up, a Nexus 5X. Just bought one of those the other day, but I'm going to also buy the new Nexus ones when they come out in probably a couple of months or whenever they come out. I want to stay on top of tech with the latest phones. So it's running this. It's taking a little bit of time. Usually it doesn't take this long, but I was messing. I'm not sure why it's taking so long. I might cut some of this out, maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, we didn't do anything with the second button there. So the second button's just not going to be doing anything. The first button is what we applied to. Okay, it looks like it just runs, so let's go to it. and it's loading, and so let's see if it works or not. So we have our two buttons there. I'm going to go ahead and click on the first, and see that it says first button as a toast. That's what a toast is. So this is kind of a, we talked a little bit about findViewById, which you followed in the talked about in the last lesson. And we also looked at setOnClickListener and how to just type a few characters and have all this code generated for you. So that's it for this lesson. We'll see you in the next lesson. Thanks.